The strength of a nation isn't measured just by its GDP or military might. It's built on something far more fundamental, the character of its people. When each individual commits to becoming better, when values guide our daily choices, something remarkable happens. The entire nation transforms from within. Think about it this way. India today stands at a crossroads. We have the youngest population in the world, incredible technological capabilities, and a rich cultural heritage that spans thousands of years. But our true potential remains locked behind a simple question. Are we becoming the people our nation needs us to be? Character isn't some abstract concept taught in moral science classes. It's the foundation of everything we do. When a shopkeeper refuses to overcharge a customer, when a student chooses honesty over shortcuts, when a government official prioritizes public service over personal gain, these aren't small acts. They are the building blocks of a stronger India. The ripple effect is extraordinary. One person with strong values influences their family. That family impacts their community. The community shapes the city, and cities, well, they define the nation. It's like dropping a stone in still water. The circles keep expanding outward, touching everything in their path. But here's where it gets interesting. Character without opportunity is just potential energy. This is where education steps in, not as a mere degree-granting machine, but as a character-building force. Real education doesn't just fill minds with information. It shapes how we think, how we question, how we solve problems, and most importantly, how we treat others. Consider the difference between learning and true education. Learning might teach you that corruption exists. Education teaches you why you should never participate in it. Learning shows you poverty statistics. Education compels you to do something about it. Learning gives you knowledge. Education gives you wisdom and the courage to act on it. The classroom becomes a laboratory for values. When teachers emphasize critical thinking over rote memorization, students learn to question and analyze. When group projects teach collaboration over competition, future leaders understand the power of unity. When diverse perspectives are welcomed and respected, tomorrow's citizens learn to embrace India's incredible diversity as strength, not division. But education alone isn't enough. It needs to connect with real life, with communities where these values get tested and strengthened. This is where community involvement becomes crucial. It's one thing to read about social responsibility in a textbook. It's entirely different to spend a weekend teaching underprivileged children or cleaning a local park. Community involvement does something magical. It breaks down the walls between us and them. When a software engineer from Bangalore volunteers at a rural school, when a college student from Delhi helps elderly neighbors with their groceries, when professionals across Mumbai come together to tackle local issues, these interactions build empathy, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose. These experiences teach lessons no classroom can provide. They show us that our problems are interconnected, that solutions require collective effort, and that every individual contribution matters. A young person who has worked with their community doesn't just become a better citizen. They become someone who sees India's challenges as their own challenges, India's progress as their own responsibility. This is where leadership emerges naturally, not the kind that seeks power or position, but the kind that serves others. True leadership in the Indian context isn't about commanding from the top. It's about inspiring from within communities, leading by example, and creating more leaders along the way. Look at the leaders who have truly transformed India. They didn't start with grand political ambitions. They started with strong personal values, deep community connections, and an unwavering commitment to something larger than themselves. They understood that lasting change begins with personal transformation and spreads through authentic relationships. Modern India needs this kind of leadership at every level, in corporate boardrooms where ethical decisions shape thousands of jobs, in local government offices where daily choices affect millions of lives, in schools where young minds are being formed, in families where values are first learned and practiced.
The beautiful thing about character-based leadership is that it's accessible to everyone. You don't need a title or position to lead with integrity. You don't need wealth or connections to make ethical choices. You don't need permission to serve your community or mentor someone younger than you. When individuals focus on building their character, when education systems prioritize values alongside knowledge, when communities become spaces for growth and service, and when leadership emerges from genuine care for others, something powerful happens. The nation doesn't just grow economically, it grows in spirit, in unity, in resilience. This isn't idealistic thinking, it's practical nation building. Countries that have made remarkable progress in recent decades, South Korea, Singapore, even parts of China, have invested heavily in character education, community development, and value-based leadership. They understood that sustainable development requires more than just infrastructure and technology. It requires people of character. India has everything needed for this transformation. We have ancient wisdom traditions that emphasize character and service. We have modern educational institutions capable of innovation. We have vibrant communities with strong social bonds. We have young people eager to make a difference. What we need now is the commitment to connect these elements purposefully, to make character development as important as skill development, to make community service as valued as career advancement, to make ethical leadership as attractive as material success. The path forward is clear, even if it's not easy. It starts with each of us asking a simple question: what kind of person do I want to be, and how does that contribute to the kind of nation I want India to become? The answer to that question, multiplied across millions of individuals, will determine India's future. This is our moment. This is our opportunity. The India of tomorrow is being built today, one character at a time, one community at a time, one leader at a time. And it starts with you.